Chair now recognizes Mr. Brooker for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Chair Huffman and Ranking Member McClintock, and thank you to all the members of the subcommittee for this opportunity to provide testimony on an issue that's near and dear to my heart. My name is J.P. Brooker, and I am the Senior Manager and Policy Counsel for Florida Conservation for Ocean Conservancy, an environmental nonprofit centered on global marine conservation. I'm also a native Floridian, born and raised on the Indian River Lagoon in Brevard County, and I'm currently based in St. Petersburg on the Gulf of Mexico. My family first came to Florida from the Bahamas in the 1850s, settling in Key West and later in Tampa. People in my family have been anglers, divers, and sailors for generations. I've always felt an indelible, almost spiritual connection to the coast that has been my backyard and my playground from my earliest memories. Now I'm a father to 2 little girls who love the water as much as I do, and we spend weekends collecting sea creatures for makeshift field aquariums, learning to fish, and swimming and snorkeling on Florida's beaches and in pristine springs. But our nation's coasts are special places that provide enormous benefit to human communities, not just in Florida. And Florida is no different. Although the state is unique in the length of its coastline, its peninsular shape, its low elevation, and its topography of porous limestone bedrock, the coastal environment in Florida is indicative of coastal areas around the United States. Unfortunately, these coastal communities are at a crossroads. Our nation's ocean and coasts are facing unprecedented challenges. Water quality and quantity issues and harmful algal blooms, like we've heard about today, are posing ongoing risks to waterways and coastal resiliency in Florida. Stony coral tissue loss disease and bleaching are threatening the iconic coral reefs that buffer the coast from impacts of storms. Sea level rise and sunny day flooding has become so commonplace that municipalities are now marking streets to indicate that saltwater flooding can destroy cars and property. Extreme weather events like the Category 5 Hurricane Michael that struck the panhandle of Florida just last year pose significant harm to the resiliency of coastal communities, as these storms become more frequent, more severe, more damaging to ecosystems, and more costly to human life and property. In order to protect the natural coastal environment in these special places of work and play, policymakers, like the members of this committee, must take bold action to ensure clean and abundant water, healthy beaches, thriving habitat, and resilient infrastructure in the face of coastal change. This includes the topics of 4 of the bills in front of the committee today: harmful algal blooms, living shorelines, climate change, and working waterfronts. On harmful algal blooms, we need a better understanding of the causes and consequences of and implementable action plans to address the harmful algal blooms that have resulted in massive fish kills, heartbreaking losses of manatees, sea turtles, and even a giant whale shark in Southwest Florida. On living shorelines, federal assistance is needed to help local communities prioritize the use of living shorelines as a stabilization technique to protect against coastal erosion while supporting coastal ecosystems and habitats. On climate change adaptation, the impacts from carbon pollution and climate change are touching virtually every aspect of our ocean and coasts. Policymakers at all levels must act to mitigate further carbon pollution and develop tangible action plans and projects to help communities adapt to changing climate conditions. And on working waterfronts are the backbone of coastal communities. Many coastal cities and towns, Florida towns like Mayport, Madeira Beach, Apalachicola, Cedar Key, and Stock Island, have historic connections to the maritime industry and coast-wide economy. Congress should empower local communities to take action to ensure the revitalization and resiliency of these working waterfronts that are the underpinning of these communities' existence and identity. Our nation's shorelines are at an all-hands-on-deck moment. U.S. coastal communities, beaches, waterways, and wildlife are precious, unique, and in grave need of help and protection. Residents of coastal communities want action, and we want Congress, alongside fellow citizens, businesses, state and local lawmakers, to do everything they can to push these bills forward. Thank you very much for your time today, and I appreciate working with you in the future on ocean and coastal issues.
Thank you for your testimony.